Our next guest gets accolades worldwide and has been offered incredible opportunities in other places, but she prefers to be based here in Vancouver. How important it is for us to support and honor her decision to make this place her home. Some experts believe that dance is the most ancient of all human art forms. Vancouver is becoming a respected center of professional dance, due in large part to our next guest. Please welcome Crystal Pite, founder of Kid Pivot, and her special guests, Eric Beauchesne and Cindy Salgado. Thank you.
We move. Our arms reach out, our knees collapse, our heads nod, our chests cave in, our backs arch. We jump, we shrug, we clench our fists, we pick each other up, and we push each other away. And this is language as much as it is action. This is what the body has to say about need, defeat, courage, despair, desire, joy, frustration, ambivalence, love. I think that these images resonate meaningfully in our minds because we have all felt these things so purely in our bodies. We have been moved. And I'm a choreographer, and I work with the body because I'm pretty convinced about this. And I try to create performances that connect audiences to the stories that are contained in their own bodies. About 2.5 years ago, I created a show called the Tempest replica. My challenge was to manifest Shakespeare's play through the body and to try to tell a very complex story using almost no words. So we're going to do a short excerpt from the show. And what we're seeing here is part of the prologue, where we establish Prospero's relationship to the play itself and his role as its maker. So here he is, setting up the scene where his daughter Miranda will see the shipwreck that he has wrought by magic, and she will think that everyone is drowning. So with The Tempest, I knew that I couldn't rely on the audience to know the play the same way they would Romeo and Juliet, for example. I knew I was going to have to do a lot of exposition. So in our show, we kind of whip through the play in the first 30 minutes, and we deliver essential plot points in a kind of onstage storyboard. And everything is reduced to a series of gestures and postures that tell the story. And except for Prospero, all the characters are faceless and colorless, and they just have a few little articles to define who they are, like a crown or a sword or a dress. The physicality looks like stop motion, like a series of frames. It is quick and mechanical and economical, so that the tilt of a head and the retreat of a chest and the reach of an arm not only tells the audience a story, but it also becomes a way of seeing for them. It's a visual language that the audience is already actually very fluent in, sometimes just without realizing it. So once most of the play has been delivered, the performance enters what I call the real world. And here the performers appear as real people, and their dancing has changed quality to the opposite extreme, so it is fluid and fleshed out and reckless, slippery, destabilized, and raw. And what I was trying to earn through the quick onstage storyboarding of The Tempest was ultimately the opportunity to choreograph the relationships between Prospero and the other characters without having to stop along the way and explain what's going on. Because actually, dance is a really inefficient way to tell a complex story. But it's very efficient if you want to express an emotion or a state. So I really wanted the audience to have The Tempest in their back pocket while they watched the dancing unfold, so that what might otherwise look like a kind of angsty dance between a man and a woman is now imbued with meaning. And this is Prospero, and this is his daughter, and she is suffering, and he has some explaining to do. And this is where your body comes in. As a choreographer, I can pretty much rely on the fact that you know the trajectory of sadness and suffering in your own belly, that you know what it feels like to reach for something or for someone. These dancers represent you. They take your gestures and postures and they exaggerate them, they concentrate them, they isolate them, and they elevate them so that what remains, what is here on stage, is something that is beyond words.